Renting an apartment in Thailand, what you need to know. Renting an apartment in Thailand is an exciting prospect for anyone moving there. However, before you start your search for the perfect condo, you'll want to read up on how the process differs from renting in your home country. In this video, you'll learn everything you need to know. Types of apartments. Modern apartments. Modern apartments were built in the last 10 to 15 years. These are generally quite small in size, but obviously have nicer decor than their older counterparts. Many modern apartment buildings have a gym and a swimming pool. Most have washing machine facilities, and some have a restaurant on site, too. Older apartments. Older apartments are cheaper to rent, and are usually larger when compared to modern apartments. However, they generally lack facilities like a gym or pool. The cheaper price can often attract some undesirable neighbors as well. Serviced apartments. Serviced apartments are more expensive, but come with the added benefits of regular cleaning and room service. Should I rent a condo or an apartment? Although these words are often used interchangeably, there is a difference in Thailand. Apartments are usually managed, and have a front office, with help on hand to answer queries and address problems. The apartments are all owned by the building owner. Condos are privately owned units within a building, and rented out by the owners individually. This means any maintenance issues in the unit itself must be addressed by the landlord. If there is a front office, it will be there simply to direct visitors, and field common residential queries. I personally prefer apartment complexes because the owner owns all the units and the whole building. This means everything is centrally maintained, and there is one point of contact for all problems. In a privately owned condo, if there was a problem with water leaking from an apartment next door, your landlord would have to contact the other landlord to get it sorted out. However, the landlord of the other unit might say it's a building issue, and that they need to contact the owner of the building. However, many of the nicer modern blocks are private-owned condo units, so whether you opt for an apartment or a condo will probably depend on your preference of unit, where it is located, and the availability in that area. Finding your perfect rental. The best way to find an apartment is to walk the streets. Once you know the area where you want to live, you can simply walk into buildings that take your fancy, and ask at the front desk to see if they have any availability. If you're relocating from abroad, you may not have this luxury. You can instead look online at some property websites. Nowadays you have Google Maps, Street View, and YouTube, which will give you a good insight into an area, and what to expect. So securing an apartment online prior to relocating isn't the risk it once was. I think it is wise to do a short-term stay somewhere when you first arrive, and visit a few areas before committing to a 6-month or 1-year rental. If you want to do some preliminary research, check out these property websites. Thai property phase was. Rental prices. There are a number of attributes that can inflate the cost of rent on an apartment. 1. Size of the apartment. From a newer, smaller studio apartment with 1 bed, or an older style 2-bedroom with larger rooms. 2. A new building with attractive furnishings. 3. Facilities on offer such as a gym, pool, and restaurant. 4. Being near a tourist hotspot, with lots of restaurants and bars. 5. Living next to a BTS, overground, or MRT, underground, station in Bangkok. 6. Living close to the center of Bangkok or other city. 7. Having a popular shopping center, and other good shopping within walking distance. 8. Availability of parking. However, it is usually quite easy to find some middle ground, and stay within reasonable proximity of convenience, without paying the premium of having it right on your doorstep. In terms of pricing, it's difficult to give exact numbers. Pricing depends on the area, and the demand for a particular building. Leasing contracts. There is no Landlord-Tenant Act in Thailand. The legal basis for a lease is governed by the Hire of Property section in the Civil and Commercial Code of Thailand. Most contracts are for 12 months, but some residences offer 6 months. Again, it depends on the demand for the area, and the building, and the age of the property. A lease tends to be a simple document in Thailand. A 1 or 2 page document that you'll have to sign before moving in. Your lease document might only be in Thai, or in Thai and English. If only in Thai, you can request a translation, but that will most likely be at your cost. At the end of the day, it's pretty simple. Pay your rent and don't damage the apartment, or beware. If you're a respectful tenant, then you'll get respect in return. If you turn up at 2 a.m., drunk, singing with a pair of hookers, you can expect to get a telling off, and to lose the respect of your neighbors. Utility charges. Water and electric bills are generally paid separately to your rental invoice. These should be billed at the government rate, but some complexes charge a higher rate, and get away with it by claiming a form of surcharge. Utility bills may be included in the rental price by a private condo landlord, but if they are, you can assume you are paying more than you would if you paid the bills yourself. The price of electricity in Thailand is 4 baht per unit, 1 kilowatt per hour of electricity used. The price of water for the first 10 units is 10.2 baht per unit, with a minimum of 50 baht. Paying a rental deposit. You will have to pay a deposit on your place, so factor that into your budget. It's usually 2 months of rent up front, plus you have to pay your normal rent payment for that month. Will you get your deposit back? Yes, but maybe not all of it. Some landlords will really fuss over any damage, including marks on walls, that will need painting. It is also very common that an owner will charge a cleaning fee when you move out, which is usually 500 baht. Building security. The good news is that most residential buildings have a security guard on duty, night and day. These unarmed guards aren't there to tackle and arrest robbers, but they are a good crime deterrent, and do log suspicious activity. Many buildings have a traffic barrier at the entrance, at which the security guard checks cars in and out. CCTV is usually in operation, too. Other than a guard, a front desk helps prevent unwanted visitors, and you'll also have a lock on your door. Even the first floor windows of a residential block are too high for burglars, so you can relax knowing you're safe. Transport links. Transport is a big factor when deciding on a location to live. In Bangkok, for example, you will want to be fairly near to an MRT, underground, or BTS, overground, station. Within a 5-minute walk is ideal, since it gets hot and you don't want to arrive all sweaty to work or to meet a date. Some upmarket residences offer a shuttle service to and from the closest station. Another option is to take a motorbike taxi, 10 to 20 baht. If you live more than 5 minutes from the station, you will usually find a local taxi rank close to your apartment. Neighborhood noise. The level of noise on a main road in Bangkok can be pretty high. The city never sleeps and there's always traffic. Even on a side street, you might have dogs barking, annoying teenagers on motorbikes with loud exhausts, or just people speaking loudly at all hours. On the islands and in more rural places you may avoid some of the city center noise hazards, but instead of a loud exhaust pipe, it might be a rooster that wakes you up at the crack of dawn. Thais tend to rise early to get work done before the mid-morning heat arrives, so if you're a late sleeper, beware that the hustle and bustle starts early. Try to go for a building set back from the main road, at least a few streets. Narrow streets can be annoying for taxis to drive down but will mean less through traffic during the day and night. When viewing a residence, take a look around the immediate vicinity for potential noise hazards, such as bars, train tracks, building works, etc. Pets in apartments or condos. My advice is not to acquire pets in Thailand. There are pet-friendly condos, but not many, and having a pet will hinder your range of choice. If you want a cat or a dog, you're better off finding a house to rent in a more rural location. If you're moving to Thailand with a pet, consider that your pet can be quarantined for up to 30 days at the discretion of a quarantine officer at customs. Disability. Some modern condo or apartment buildings have wheelchair access, and most buildings have lifts. If you have a disability that prevents you from taking the stairs, inquire as to what fire escape measures are in place for disabled persons, should an emergency situation occur. In summary, renting in Thailand is as cheap or expensive as you want it to be. The size of some condos may come as a shock to some, who may be used to bigger apartments in their home country. However, if you increase your budget by 5 to 10,000 baht, the space of the apartment dramatically increases. There are so many options, particularly in the bigger cities. So if you find it's not for you, then finding alternative accommodation should not be too hard. Hope this was helpful, as most people need to rent when they first arrive. Thanks for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to help the channel grow.